This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi. And on the show tonight, we're diving headfirst into a political firestorm that's got the nation and the Gen Z buzzing. Rahul Gandhi's clarion call to Gen Z to save the constitution and stop vote-chori. But is this a genuine plea to protect democracy, or, as the BJP charges, a dangerous incitement to unrest? They have drawn parallels to the youth-led upheavals in Nepal and Bangladesh. And here's the deal. It all ignited with a social media post from the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. In his post on X, Rahul urged India's Gen Z and the youth, the digital natives born between 1997 and 2012, to rise up, protect democracy, and halt what he calls vote-chori. He wrote, and I quote, "Gen Z of the country will save the constitution, protect democracy, and stop vote theft," I unquote. Now, this comes amid Congress's escalating allegations of electoral malpractices, including claims of manipulated votes in the recent elections. Now, the BJP isn't taking this lying down. They've come out all guns blazing and swinging, accusing Rahul Gandhi of inciting unrest and rejecting the constitution itself. Top BJP leaders and allies have dismissed Rahul's narrative as political theatrics designed to foment disruption, even drawing dangerous parallels to youth-led uprisings in Nepal and Bangladesh.
क्या कहना चाहते हैं राहुल गांधी? आप कहना क्या चाहते हैं? कि एक जनजे के नाम पर देश में आप अराजकता फैलाना चाहते हैं? ये बहुत गंभीर सवाल है। और ये पूरा ट्वीट किया गया और उनका इकोसिस्टम ने जेनजे के नाम से ट्वीट करना शुरू किया। ये बहुत गंभीर विषय है। राहुल गांधी जानबूझकर लोकतंत्र को कमजोर कर रहे हैं, देश में अराजकता फैलाना चाहते हैं और हिंसा अराजकता को उकसा रहे हैं।
देखिए, मैंने पहले ये कहा है कि वोट चोरी का मामला नहीं है। राहुल गांधी जी का दिमाग चोरी हो गया है, और जब दिमाग चोरी हो जाता है तो इसी प्रकार की बातें लोग कहते हैं। मैंने पहले भी कहा था कि इनको देश के संविधान के प्रति कोई आस्था नहीं है। देश के संविधान ने तैयार की हुई सारी व्यवस्थाओं को नकारते हैं। अब तो उन्होंने अपने अर्बन माओइस्ट होने का सबूत ही दे दिया। अर्बन माओइस्टों वाली भाषा वो कर रहे हैं कि जेन ज़ी ने आकर संवैधानिक सरकार को उलट देना चाहिए। इस प्रकार की बात जब कोई करता है तो इससे अलग बात अर्बन माओइस्ट क्या करते हैं? उनके सारे जो लोग एडवाइस देते हैं, सारे एडवाइजर उनके ये अर्बन माओइस्ट इस प्रकार की विचारधारा के हैं।
उन्होंने कहा, देश का नौजवान, देश का बेरोजगार, देश के लोग, जेन जी संविधान की, लोकतंत्र की हिफाजत करेंगे। और बदले में भाजपा के जो सांसद रहे हैं या सांसद हैं, पाठक जी क्या कह रहे हैं? घर जलवा रहे हैं राहुल गांधी, घर जलवा रहे हैं अखिलेश यादव के, जिन्होंने उनको बुरी तरह पराजित किया। और दुबे जी के बारे में तो मैं इतना ही कह सकता हूँ, क्या हो गया है, उनका मानसिक संतुलन बिगड़ गया है, क्या हो गया है उनको, क्यों इतने क्षुब्ध और दुखी हैं कि वो उस ट्वीट को गलत पढ़ रहे हैं।
जेन जी प्रोटेस्ट को उनका इस तरह से जो है वो बुलाना, इस तरह से मांग करने के, ये नेपाल का जो है मॉडल यहाँ पे चलना चाहिए, सबको जिंदा जला देना चाहिए। और उनको ये बात पता होनी चाहिए कि नेपाल में जो है वो जेन जी ने एक नेपोटिज्म सरकार को जो है वो ध्वस्त किया है। तो शायद उनको कुछ आइडिया नहीं है कि वर्ल्ड में चल क्या रहा है। वो लगता है सुबह सुबह आंखें मलते मलते उठते हैं और कुछ भी पोस्ट कर देते हैं, कुछ भी लिख देते हैं।
Well, so those are the different opinions that are doing the rounds on social media. That's what the political corridor is full of. But let's talk about the Gen Z, because Gen Z is not just a buzzword, they're actually a powerhouse. India boasts of 377 million Gen Zers, making up 30% of our population. Combined with the millennials, that's up to 52%, higher than the global average of 47%. And get this, 20% of the world's Gen Z calls India their home. We've got an informed panelist with us on the broadcast tonight, and the big questions that we're trying to decode and ask. How much influence does Gen Z wield in shaping India's political future? And is Rahul Gandhi's appeal a genuine call to protect democracy or a politically motivated campaign to unsettle the government? Are BJP's charges of instigating unrest reflective of legitimate concerns, or is this only a mere political counterattack? With us on the broadcast, Xavier Rodriguez, founder and editor-in-chief, Goa Chronicle. Many thanks, Xavier, for taking out the time. Advocate Arshpreet Khadial, spokesperson, Congress Party, who's soon going to be with us. Siddhi Vinayak Singh, rapper and social worker. He has his own platform, an inclusive platform called Village Vigilantes, helping out the local community and the farmers as well. Congratulations on your recent single. Saw all of that on social media as well, Siddhi. Vijay Grover, senior journalist, also with us. Many thanks, Mr. Grover, for taking out the time. All right then, Xavier, let's get the ball rolling very quickly. Rahul Gandhi says that the Gen Z will save the constitution and stop this vote theft. Then why does the BJP see this as an incitement rather than a democratic mobilization? Let's get the ball rolling. We, of course, have different facets of this to discuss here, but this here for starters. Savio.
Yeah, my personal opinion on the Gen Z, which is one of the very powerful energies anywhere in the world, not only India, is that Gen Z does not bow to any political party. They will not bow down to the BJP. They will not bow down to the Congress. They have a mind of their own. They have an intention of their own. They have visions of their own. They have aspirations of their own. Political aspirations also exist in the Gen Z, and they basically want a nation, whether it is India or anywhere in the world. They want to see fair practices. They want to see a country and an economy growing. They want to be able to be treated with the freedom and the fairness that they demand. That is the intrinsic quality of the Gen Z. So while Rahul Gandhi, while the BJP will have their own political intent as far as the Gen Z is concerned, my personal belief and my personal confidence in the Gen Z of India is that they will never undertake any act to destroy the social fabric as far as India is concerned. They will not resort to anarchy. They will not resort to turning violent, as you have seen in protests in Bangladesh and in Nepal recently, because by and large, the Indian Gen Z is an aspirational lot of young Indians who want to see India progress. Politically, yes, some of them might belong to a political party, and some of them might not even be belonging to any aspect of politics. So what they want is a rising India. What they want is an India that gives them wings, gives them, basically be the wind beneath their wings in order for them to fly. And that is intrinsically what Gen Z is. Gen Z is not more bothered of the petty politics that political parties will play. What they are interested in knowing is, can we create entrepreneurship? Can we get jobs? Can we have a better standard of living? Can we have better roads? Can we have better facilities?
No, you're absolutely right, Savio. But I mean, I do need to ask you, what do you make of that tweet that Rahul Gandhi put out yesterday? And everybody very selectively took out the Gen Z bait, called it the Gen Z card. But is it really him instigating a Nepal-like situation just because we're still hungover with what really happened in Kathmandu? Or is he trying to mobilize? Because, if there really is genuine youth anger, isn't this the BJP with what, Kangana Ranaut is saying, what all the BJP leaders are saying, aren't they prematurely dismissing their frustration maybe a little bit too easily?
No, but that's precisely what I'm saying, Kabir. I'm trying to make the people understand that the Gen Z does not care about what any political party thinks about them. What they want the political parties to understand is that they are aspirational and they have a certain vision that may or may not align to any of the political parties.
Yep.
What they want is a better India. If you were to ask me in a nutshell, even today I might have certain, links to political parties that I'm close to. But if I were to ask my daughters who are Gen Z whether they would prefer this political party or the other, to them it does not matter. What matters to them is a political party, or rather us. They are seeing ahead. This is the Gen Z. This is the AI time. This is the technology generation. They will go leaps and bounds ahead of us. They are not going to be people left to think in an ancient thought process. They will want to progress. They will want to aspire.
Savio, before I move on to other panelists, no, you've made some important points there. You know, I consider myself to be the youth of this nation as well. I want all of those things that you're talking about as well. You know, drawing parallels with what happened in Nepal, is that right at the moment?
No. I'll tell you why. Because the youth of India are little different from the frustrations of the people that are happened in Nepal. Please also understand that while the youth frustration in Nepal was a trigger, the youth themselves, some of them have said that they did not expect it to scale up that high and turn into a violent protest. Can India and the Gen Z of India do that to India? The answer is no, because I believe much more than politicians, the Gen Z have a value to India as a nation, and therefore they would want peace and stability in India.
All right, all right. We've got the Congress spokesperson with us on the broadcast as well. Many thanks for joining us, Advocate Arshpreet Karyal. Arshpreet, you know, critics say Rahul is invoking Gen Z not for democracy, but to systematically destroy it rather, and to incite instability. How does the Congress party defend the intent of the leader of opposition?
Number one, the intent of the leader of opposition is to ensure that our democracy stays the way it is, that it is not turned into a dictatorship, something that the Bharatiya Janata Party has been attempting to do for a very long time. Number two, the intent is to ensure that the constitution stays supreme. The Bharatiya Janata Party at every nook and corner has tried to undermine the constitution of India, has undermined the Honorable Supreme Court. So that is the intent. Number two. See, the first thing that I want the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson to do on record is condemn his leader, who said that houses of Rahul Gandhi ji and Akhilesh Yadav ji will be burnt by the people. They'll be set ablaze. Condemn that, expel that leader, and say it on the record. We condemn such statements that instigate violence, that instigate and provocate the youth. What about that? The youth are being, instigated due to such statements. So many incidents have happened back in the day. There's so much vigilantism happening. So the Bharatiya Janata Party, instead of ensuring that the youth is directed towards the right way, is sending them the wrong way. Number two, we want to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party, why should vote-chori not be an issue for the youth of the country? They are being affected. They are our future. What about the demographic dividend? And number two, other than that, the Adivasis have been affected due to the vote-chori. The minorities have been affected. The backward classes have been affected. Everybody has been affected. And we have given you facts and figures. So why should the youth not speak against it? Everybody in the country has been opposing you on that, and the Bharatiya Janata Party has not been able to tell. Why are you against transparency? Why are you against accountability? Why are you against responsibility? All we are seeking is that not a single vote should be deleted unnecessarily. Not a single person should have to suffer violation of his constitutional
But
rights.
Arshpreet, do you think the optics here play a little bit of role as well? Because you're right, the vote-chori series, and it seems like that atom bomb and the hydrogen bomb is still yet to be dropped. We've already seen various headlines saying whether it's hot gas or hydrogen bomb. We'll leave the vote-chori angle aside for the time being. Let's talk about this clarion call coming from Rahul Gandhi, which you've defended his intent per se, but the optics, does that matter a lot? Not, because Kangana Ranaut, we just heard her reaction. She says Gen Z rejected the nepotistic dynasty in Kathmandu, and the Gandhis representing Gen D, generation dynasty themselves. Is Rahul Gandhi the right messenger to mobilize this Gen Z and youth bloc that often resists legacy politics? That's one question that people are now asking on social media as well. What's your opinion on that?
Well, the Bharatiya Janata Party is definitely not fit to lecture us on nepotism, because Jesha Saab, Amit Shah Saab's son, who is now heading ICC in Asia, India-Pakistan match just happened under their regime, under his leadership. Number two, Mr. Rajnath Singh's son, is he not into is what of that? And other than that, Mr. Thakur, Anurag Thakur, then Nirmala Sitharaman ji. When we talk of dynastic politics, what does the Bharatiya Janata Party have to say over all these leaders who have, such links with nepotism, and you cannot defy them?
No, you're right. You cited some credible examples. All I'm saying is, let's leave the BJP aside for the time being. The Nepal dispensation was brought down because it was nepotistic in nature. Now, people on social media, and that's where the community is essentially divided, they say Rahul Gandhi also is symbolic of the same generation. So, is he the right messenger to be delivering this message? Maybe we do need the youth, and this clarion call is actually justified. But then again, is Rahul Gandhi the right person to be putting that out? That's one question.
I'll answer your question. See, number one, we have to understand one thing. That a person who becomes the leader of opposition cannot just survive on the basis of what his family background is all about. It is only possible when you put in determination, consistency, persistence, hard work, and you give your blood and sweat to it. See the yatras he has done. See what he has done for the people of the country. See what he has been doing time and time again consistently. Okay. And the Bharatiya Janata Party, when it does not have the answers, then they try to basically use unparliamentary language, Jersey cow, hybrid cow, Videshi taktu ka maura, Congress ki ek kaun si vidwa hai, 50 crore ki girlfriend. These are the kind of languages that they've been using. These are the kind of words they've been using. So my only request to the Bharatiya Janata Party is that if the Bharatiya Janata Party cannot respect the youth of the country, instead of telling them to set houses ablaze, the Bharatiya Janata Party should ensure that the youth of the country is put to good use. It's, in 45 years, highest unemployment rate, inflation is touching the sky. People who have PhD degrees are standing in queues for the job of a peon. And in these circumstances, in these situations, the Bharatiya Janata Party, instead of helping them, instead of ensuring that their future is protected, is opposing the concerns that have been raised vis-a-vis vote-chori. The 16,018 votes that Mr. Gandhi just talked about, and he has presented the people. Pratyaksh ko praman ki zarurat nahi hoti. People who did not even know their names were being used to delete votes. And in 14 minutes, 12 names were deleted at 4:07 a.m. First thing in the morning, people are deleting names, and all the applicants happen to be on serial number 1. This all goes on to suggest that there is a problem which needs to be addressed. And who other than our youth? Who other than our youth to do it?
And that's exactly why we have somebody from...
We have somebody from
that demographic. We have somebody from that demographic with us here on the broadcast. Siddhi Vinayak Singh, let's pass the buck on to you now. When Rahul Gandhi talks about vote chori, do you feel this message speaks to the youth out at large? We've been talking about political aspirations for the longest time now. Do you see it as just another political slogan? Rahul's appeal to save the constitution, does it resonate with the larger youth out there?
Thank you for having me, Kabir. It's a loaded question. I think, let me just take a while to just talk about it in a very non-partisan manner first. It doesn't matter if Rahul Gandhi says it or anyone else says it. Those problems are legitimate, and I think they pretty much resonate with everyone, all the stakeholders who are involved as the citizens of the country, whether they are political or non-political in nature. That said, I think when it comes to something like an insurrection which is being imposed here, I think from the perspective of a young person who turned 18 in 2013, who pretty much saw the transition from one government to the other, I've been witness to the fact that there were many such problems back when I was growing up as a boy of 17 and 18 as well. And those problems are pretty much the same, if not, aggravated in today's time. So what we feel particularly is that no matter how many divisions we see, society is a composite organism, right? And when we see that this organism has contracted some sort of a fever, and that might be things like insurrections and uprisings and protests, a fever is not a disease in itself, but a symptom of a larger infection inside. Yeah. So we can keep debating about whether हमारे टाइम पे 99 था, आपके टाइम पे 104 बुखार हो गया. Fact of the matter is that corruption, violence against women, caste discrimination, unemployment, the economy functioning, not capitalism, I wouldn't take that line, but rather crony capitalism for that matter, which is not very partisan in nature. It has pretty much, for my existence of all 30 years, it has been a part of my reality regardless of the party I was in. So in that regard, when I look at some clarion call being put out by someone, they're just stating the obvious. So me, as a young person, would always prefer going back and relying on my institutions, because India has something that the other countries who are facing insurrections don't, which is institutional resilience. But to what degree are those institutions resilient is the larger question. So it doesn't really matter from a partisan angle to me or to any young person, It's all about what lies within.
All right. A pertinent point that you've raised over there, Siddhi, the fever analogy, I think it is going to buttress the point home. Mr. Grover, you've been patiently waiting. Many thanks for doing so. Rahul Gandhi has explicitly invoked the Gen Z and the youth out there. Politically, and we've got the numbers here with us, politically, how significant is this bloc in shaping India's next election?
Well, first thing I would want to say is Rahul Gandhi has used the term Gen Z. And many of us in India have started using the term Gen Z only after seeing the Nepal uprising. But if you see every election, every political party targets the first-time voters. They call them the first-time voters, young voters, these voters. Why? Everybody knows the power of youth. Everybody knows the energy that they have and the kind of nation building that they can do. So Rahul Gandhi, if he had just said 18-year-old and not used the term Gen Z, maybe the debate itself would not have been there. But given that, this is something where we need to focus that, what we saw in Nepal, what we saw in Sri Lanka, what we saw in Bangladesh, Indian youth suffer with similar problems. They don't have any problem which is different from what these countries did not suffer. Unemployment being the first one, that's the biggest. I was reading about the UP sub-inspector's exam. 4,500 posts, 15,75,000 people applied for that. So it shows the scale of unemployment that the country faces today, that doctorates, PhDs, MBAs, everybody wants to apply even for a sub-inspector post. So where are we standing today? The problem with the Indian political system is that everybody thinks he's the messiah of the people, be it the BJP, be it the Congress, be it every party. They think they have the solution to the problems of the people. The fact is, the problems of the people can be addressed only by people. And the political parties, if they just do their job of governance effectively, I think so half the problems would have been solved by now. They need not play like messiah, मैं तुम्हें बचाऊंगा, मैं तुम्हारे को ये करूंगा. अरे भैया, my role with a politician or a political party is only once in 5 years when I go out and vote. And if that vote right is also stolen in vote-chori, then where's the role that I play as a voter? So that is something where, my role in the democratic system, if it is being marginalized, obviously it's going to upset people. And that's where we need to figure out as to what is the kind of solution. The problem is the fact that I feel this call to Gen Z, certainly, because the minds are fresh, they're not hardened. When you talk to a 6-year-old child or an 8-year-old child, he doesn't know even the differences of religion. By the time he's 17 or 18, he knows that there are different religions. By the time he's 20, 25, he knows that there are different castes in my own religion. So this hardening of mind do not have that kind of resistance in mind.
All right. Mr. Grover, before I move on, I want to take another question from Siddhi. Mr. Grover, do you see Rahul's outreach? And why I'm asking you this is because there's no denying that the Prime Minister has cultivated a direct connect with the young voters over the last decade. I'm trying to understand Rahul's outreach. Is this genuine mobilization or is this a risky rhetoric that could backfire for the Congress's fortunes?
Well, the first thing that it could do is basically just trigger a debate. The fact that it's triggered a debate, people of the young generation will take politics that much more seriously. Their role in the democratic system is only, as I said, limited to once in 5 years opportunity. I think so they will be a little more cautious, little more aware, and they will ensure that their names are not deleted and, they will want to participate in the electoral system And I think so that could be a big achievement by itself. But something to happen like Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Bangladesh, I don't think so. India is that kind of a thing.
All right. Siddhi, coming back to you, as part of the youth, is the youth out there more worried about democracy and freedom, or is it about going to be jobs, inflation, and daily survival? What's nabs pakadne ki agar baat kare, hamare desh ke yuva ki, so what does that look like at the moment?
I don't think that they are mutually exclusive by any means. You know, when we talk about a country like ours, there is no one-size-fits-all approach that one can take, right? A country as diverse, as big as ours, and also as stratified at the same time as ours. Democracy is the only way to make sure that equitability of outcome and equitability of development is something that is that safeguards every citizen regardless of their identity marker. Yeah, so I believe that saving democracy is something that. You see, the truth and is pretty much like a lion in a room. You know, it does not need saving. It does not require some grand effort. It lies in the institutions, and it lies in the public cohesiveness that is there. So in that regard, I think the youth of India is different, because when there is a problem, we respond. Not just with angst, we respond with solutions like entrepreneurship, solutions like art, solutions like direct involvement in policy making. And in that regard, I think our country has ample space for anyone who wants to be a participant of it.
That's a great point. And I think that's why something like Nepal can never happen in India, because we have ample space to, use resources like our democratic mechanisms, which sadly and unfortunately Nepal did not have at that point in time. We've completely run out of time here. But, Savio, final 20 seconds, just want to understand, critics argue that by attacking Rahul personally, you call them urban Maoist, ghar jala diya jayega, brain theft. The BJP is avoiding answering the core allegation of vote-chori. How do you respond to that? Because one has to understand Bihar elections right around the corner. I've completely run out of time, but I do need your opinion on that. Last 20-30 seconds. Please exercise brevity if you can.
Well, I think allegations of vote-chori, whether it's made by the Congress or by certain sections of other political parties, are serious allegations. Because even if there is one vote that is taken away from somebody and there's something falsified in it, I think it needs to be investigated. The politics around what happens.
Who said ghar jala diya jayega? You won't condemn that leader of yours?
You asked BJP spokesperson. I'm not the BJP spokesperson.
That's exactly, advocate. We will.
He has been associated with the Bharatiya Janata Party. I don't know if he's.
I am associated. But I'm
well, you know what? This show is about the Gen Z. The show is about the Gen Z. We'll give the youth another say. We'll give the youth another say. Advocate and Savio will give the youth another say. Siddhi, last 10 seconds.
I'm sorry, I missed a part of your question, Kabir. The only thing is, if I don't say anything that does not resonate with anyone, this will be wrong. So basically, the very fact that Mr. Gandhi is still out in the open and able to make these speeches tells you how relevant they are as an opposition, as they would have been bars.
Okay, I think we'll leave it there. Advocate, many thanks for joining us. Savio, always a pleasure to have you with us on the broadcast. Siddhi, best of luck for your upcoming singles, and many thanks for speaking to us here on News 9. That's all on In Your Interest. Rahul's vote-chori cry versus BJP's unrest charge. It seems like the battle for the youth and the Gen Z has only just begun. We're going to continue to talk about this. That's all on In Your Interest tonight. Many top developments right on the other side. Keep it with News 9.